Hello, happy January Eve. You know what time it is. It's time for another Final Fantasy X Sphere Grid Randomizer. Part 3, in fact. Now up to this point I've made a lot of jokes pertaining to the characters and especially Yuna, being the arbiter of death and whatnot, since she got stupidly strong black magic really fucking early. And while we will enjoy the hell out of one-shotting bosses while we can, Ultima can only reasonably carry us so far. Especially on a limited MP pool. And me having played this game a bajillion times, I can tell you that some of the later bosses in this game are fucking ass. And I'll be suffering soon enough, so don't you worry. Anyways, I'm Rez, welcome to the time stream, and let's get into it. We left off last time with our ragtag group on their way to Luca, and wow, we're here. Our characters walk off the boat to announcers that are clearly a part of stan culture with bias towards the frat boys, aka the Luca goers. Time gets upset and causes a scene where he yells at them because of the comments they made in Kilika. When he gets down, the group informs him that some old religious bag and a clearly evil villain have arrived in Luca, and they need to go see him. And before you get mad at me for spoiling part of the plot, this game has been out for 25 years, and I don't give a fuck. It's not my problem if you haven't played it. Time rightfully asks why the old bag hasn't retired yet after 50 years, and everyone gets offended. They head off to see Old Bag and Man Who's Clearly Evil. Burlap Sack gives a boring speech and we move on. We end up in the men's locker room, specifically the one for Wakka's team, the Aurochs. When Yuna shows up and says she heard someone say they saw Old Man Edge, she figures her and Time should go look for him because he might know where Time's dad is. So they head off, and on their way out, Time passes some Albed people, which is the same race as the blonde girl Riku from the beginning. He tries to ask them to tell Riku thank you if they see her because he assumes that all Albed automatically know each other. They give him dirty looks and he leaves. From this point on, I went to go collect the treasure chests around the different docks, and this is where we come across a stat-boosting sphere. We came across a few before, but I'm going to mention this now. You know, the ones that I talked about that I said I would allow myself to use in the first video? 3. Specialized spheres are outlawed. No skill spheres, black magic spheres, etc. Stat-boosting spheres are fair game. From this chest, we got a magic-boosting sphere, which, as you might guess, boosts magic damage. Normally I would use this right away, but in this instance I'll be hanging on to it, at least for a little while. Let me explain for those who haven't really played this game. The sphere grid is the standard way to level up in this game, and throughout the course of the game, each character has their own section of the sphere grid with stats and abilities that mold them to a specific archetype. Tidus as an agile quick hitter who specializes in manipulating the turn order, Yuna as our healer, Lulu as our magic damage, Wakka as our debuffer and flyer killer, Auron as our hard-hitting Slay King, Riku as our utility thief and buffer, and Kamari doesn't have a path. He can go down whoever's path you want him to. But with the Sphere Grid Randomizer, this is all kind of flipped on its head. You don't really know what you're going to get, so a character could be specialized, they could be spread every which way, or have abilities they can't even use yet, among other things. So all of that is to say, stat-boosting spheres are usually a no-brainer on who to give them to, but since I don't know what the fuck anyone's stats will look like in the future, it's best to hang on to them until I know what I'm getting into. Because that little boost can make all the difference in the world. After that detour, we make our way to the cafe where someone said they saw Old Man Edge, and they fucking lied. JK, he was probably here, but we missed him. Two other big blue guys, no, not those big blue guys. These big blue guys, who know Kimchi, see him, and then they begin to have a dick measuring contest. So Yuna gets bored and leaves. After this goes on for a minute, Time and Kimchi realize that Yuna's gone. Rushing outside, they run into the dominatrix who tells them they're fucking stupid, and that Yuna let herself get kidnapped. We fight some weak-ass machines that take longer than usual to kill, and make our way to the boat where Yuna is supposedly being held. We leap to the boat and get into a boss fight that finally isn't a tentacle monster. Yay. There isn't a whole lot to say about this fight. This is one that can easily be done on a no sphere grid run, so we run it like usual. Our dominatrix activates the crane with lightning magic, and Time and Kimchi beat the fuck out of it. Once the crane is on, Time operates it and turns said machine into scrap metal. We hit it one more time and yay we win! Yuna killed the men inside the boat, and everyone stands there talking until they realize that Blockhead is waiting on them for a signal. They make their way back to the locker room where time comes to take over the next Blitz game for Blockhead since he got his ass kicked in the last one. Now before we get into the next segment, you have to understand something about this piece of shit minigame. Blitzball itself is not inherently terrible as you get later into the game because you can recruit whoever you want, which makes it a lot easier. For this match, however, the game wants you to use an absolute dogshit team that it provides you. Now for those who don't understand, let me explain. There are 6 positions in Blitzball: left forward and right forward, which both are meant to shoot goals, the midfielder, who is an all-rounder, can kind of do a little bit of everything, and then left and right defense, whose job is to tackle and block, and your goalie, whose job is to catch the damn ball. Now that you understand, this is the team that I'm given. You have Bada, a defender who has decent attack stat, but you never want to have the ball because he has the endurance of a wet tissue. Keepa, who's goalie but would suck at being a gay guy because he can't catch any balls. Dotto, that is a forward who has stat total lower than his IQ score and doesn't even have enough shoot stat to make up for it. And then Jasu and Letty, who are by far the best on the team but are mediocre at best regardless. So basically it's time and a bunch of meat shields versus the best team early on in the game. And because of stat variance, the stupid hookers pretty much always manage to get the ball. And if you're unlucky, we'll score multiple times on you. If you're just playing this game for the first time, I recommend making a save file before this match and expect to reload several times, unless you get really lucky. That being said, I actually did get extremely lucky this time around. Usually the game heavily favors the Luca goers, but this time it favored me, which was a nice change of pace. I had a really smooth time playing, beat their asses, and got rudely interrupted by the fish circus from earlier in the game. They wanted to try and show us their act again, but we got mad at them for interrupting, so we killed them all. We got to see Old Man Edge make an Edge appearance, an edgy one, and finally use him again. And clearly, Evil Villain summons what I think is probably one of the coolest summonable creatures in all of Final Fantasy to kill all the monsters running around. All the monsters get killed, and unfortunately the old bag doesn't die. Time meets up with Old Man Edge. He tells Time that his father is actually the giant sinful whale. That's somehow been killing everyone and destroying everything. Time gets upset. He equates his daddy issues to the death of thousands of people. Time and Old Man Edge head out to go meet up with the group. Old Man Edge offers his services to Yuna. She says yes, and then her and Time have a mental breakdown. They then get ready to head down the Mihen Highroad. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed and want more. Let me know who your favorite Blitzball agent is and why. I love you guys, and I'll see you all next time. Until we meet again, Rez out. On to part 4 next time. Down Mihen Highroad.